Hi everyone, this is me again with this super simple flexible assembly that is not working, showing problems and bugs related to flexibility in Inventor. And I thought that I have to refresh this thread, so I am preparing the video that you will watch later. So this time I will show you another problem with flexible assembly that is easy to repeat. So first, I need to do some preparation in this assembly. I will take another plate. I will constrain it with this one, so they match. And I will constrain this face to the other face. So this will be the constraint that I will be using. So now the distance from here to the other side is 10 millimeters. So I will this is my top level flexible bolt. I will apply a range constraint between here and that with a minimum value of 1 and maximum value of, let's say, 25. How does it work? Cancel. 25 is too big, so probably 15 will be better. Edit, and I will place 15. So we have a decently constrained bolt. Now I will open this flexible assembly and I will apply the same range constraint from here to there. So minimum is 0, maximum is 15. So I will save that. This is the constrained assembly, so it is constrained to the origin planes. So now I will constrain the bolts with this assembly here. So this is my top level flexible bolt. Okay, and I will now show you what is happening when I force the assembly into position against the range constraint applied between those two washers. So I will take my constraint that I did and I will now increase the value of the distance between those plates. Now these plates are 10 millimeters apart, so when I add 5 they will be 15. So the assembly is placed properly. We are on the edge of the range constraint. Now I will take and place 7, so plus 2 over the possible value of this range constraint. So we are getting assembly cannot be solved. So this message is perfectly correct. Assembly cannot be solved. I will accept the relationship. The design doctor shows a failure of this assembly. So I know I have to decrease this value to 5 millimeters again, so to have this assembly saved. And please watch what will happen with the design doctor once I decrease this value. So once I decrease the value, the space between this face and the other face is so that the range constraint is perfectly okay. So the design doctor is not indicating any problem with the assembly. To get rid of, I will now disable this, so it is not on the I will delete it, so it is not in the way. And now I can put any value I want here, so this will not cause any error. So I will bring it back to 0. Then I will constrain the flexible assembly with this. And as you may remember, I have created a range constraint. Where it is? Where is it? I have created a range constraint as for the top level bolt. Now I will decrease this value to 5 millimeters, so to get to the edge of the extreme possible value for the range constraint in the flexible subassembly. As we can see here, the assembly is solved, everything seems fine, the design doctor shows nothing. I will now take and make 7 millimeters, so 2 more than the allowable value for the bolt. I am having assembly cannot be solved. I will cancel the operation and see what happens. So if I cancel, nothing is done, everything is fine. I will then change it back and I accept as before for the top level board. So this time I have the design doctor showing the inconsistent relationship. We can see what is so it is constraint number 10. So it is not the range constraint that is offending, but it is the constraint mate 10. If we examine mate 10, okay, it is mate 10. But why mate 10 is offending? There is no really answer to that, because it should be the range constraint that should be offending the solver, not the mate 10 constraint. So okay, this is strange, but as you remember, when I decreased the value of this to the level to the value of 5 millimeters, then in case of this board here, that all elements are placed on the top level, the design doctor stops indicating failure as it's supposed. So I will go here and I will decrease the value to 5 millimeters. But in case of the flexible assembly that I tried to force against its internal constraint, after I have made the geometry, I will make it even more. So as you can see here, now the geometry is not offending the range constraint. That should be offended by the value of 7 once I place it here. But now the assembly here is perfectly fine in terms of internal constraints of this flexible assembly, but design doctor shows that it is not, and it is pointing us to mate 10 constraint that is not indicating offending here. So this is this is one of the most common problems when using flexible components. So the design doctor really gives you bad results in terms of analysis of the assembly itself. So this is very simple to reproduce, and it is extremely annoying, it is painful, and it is really a big problem, because once the design doctor shows there is a problem, the constraint solver will not solve your assembly. It stops. It says there is a problem, I am not working. So could you please verify that and try to find some solution so the design doctor and the validation of the assembly using the flexible component was working correctly, not as like it is now working badly.